So when we first draw the graph of the tangent x in this interval, and this interval is also the fundamental cycle of the graph of the tangent x. So first, let's draw the two vertical asymptotes. Okay, two vertical asymptotes. So this is the negative half pi, and this is half pi. And if we plot all those computed order pairs, and then finally you can see the graph of the tangent x is like this. So this is the graph of the tangent x for the fundamental cycle. And the shape of the y equal to tangent x between this negative half pi and half pi is repeated between each pair of the consecutive asymptotes. So actually, when we draw some other vertical asymptotes, so because the length of the one cycle is the pi, so here from the this guy here and here, then you can get the graph of the tangent x for another cycle like this. And then here, so this is the pi plus the half pi. You have the 3 pi over 2, and this is equal to negative 3 pi over 2. And then we get the graph of the tangent x in another cycle. Okay. So remember, tangent of the plus minus half pi is undefined, right? Because cosine of half pi or negative half pi is equal to 0. So the denominator is equal to 0 in the definition of the tangent x. So this guy is undefined. And also, when you draw the graph of the tangent x, get the 3 key points. 3 key points on the graph of the tangent x are negative half pi over 4, negative 1, 0, 0, and pi over 4 and 1. So 0, 0, this guy, and then pi over 4, 1, this guy, and negative pi over 4, and this guy. So those are the 3 key points on the graph of the tangent x in the fundamental cycle. For the tangent function, we have no definition for the amplitude. So no amplitude, because for tangent function, no maximum, no minimum, right? We cannot define the amplitude. Now let's look at the problem 52. We determine the period of the tangent function and sketch at least one cycle of the graph of this tangent function. So by the way, from the graph of the tangent function, we can know the period of the tangent function is equal to pi. You see, so the period for the tangent function is equal to pi. Okay. Now let's go to this problem 52. On the page 475, tangent of the 4x. Okay. So first, let's get the period. So as in the case of the sine dx or the cosine dx, to find the period of this tangent function, we may use the period of the tangent x pi divided by the coefficient of this x. So that is pi divided by 4. So the period for this function is the pi over 4. Now, how do we determine the fundamental cycle for this function? We know this function completes one cycle, the fundamental cycle for x, between the negative half pi for 4x between the negative half pi and half pi, right? Because the fundamental cycle of the tangent x is from the negative half pi to half pi. So right now, we just divide each part by 4. Then we get pi over 8 less than the x and less than the pi over 8. Okay, negative pi over 8 less than x and less than the pi over 8. Now let's try to find the 3 key points. Okay, so we know the 3 key points are the negative pi over 4, negative 1, 0, 0, pi over 4, and 1. So we may just set this 4x equal to negative pi over 4. Then we divide both sides by 4. We get x equal to negative pi over 16, right? Then we find the corresponding y value is equal to negative 1. So we get the fourth key point, that is negative pi over 16 and then negative 1. Because tangent of the 4 times the negative pi over 16, this guy is equal to negative 1. Okay. And similarly, you set the 4x equal to the positive pi over 4, then you get the x equal to pi over 16. Then you get another key points. So that is the pi over 16 and then positive 1. And then you always have the 0, 0. So you got the 3 key points. And then you can draw the graph of this function for one cycle. So and first tell me, what is the vertical asymptotes for the fundamental cycle? What is a vertical asymptote? You know, you want to find the vertical asymptote of this tangent function, you may just set 4x either equal to half pi or x, or the 4x equal to the negative half pi, right? So that the denominator is equal to 0. So for this guy, you have the x equal to pi over 8. If you set the 4x equal to the negative half pi, then you get x equal to negative pi over 8. So you first draw the 2 vertical asymptotes, negative pi over 8, and here pi over 8. Then you know the shape of the graph of tangent x. Then you draw the graph of this tangent for x.